All right. Hello again, Rec Techies. My name is Chris Russell. Welcome to another edition of Rec Tech Live, a live webcast series where we feature great advice about recruiting or demos about recruiting technology. Today will be one of those demo days with our friends from Chattr, a platform which serves high-volume hiring organizations like Subway, Wendy's, Dunkin's, name a few, to quickly manage hiring, onboarding, and everything in between there. So you can find them on the web at chatter.ai. I put their link up there in the chat room there. And joining me is their CEO, Jim Schimpf. Hey, Jim, how's it going?
It's going amazing. Beautiful day in Florida.
That's right. He's down in Florida there. We'll talk about that because he's got some interesting stories there. Shout out to the live folks. Michael Yinger's here from Resume Seed. Hey, Michael, good to see you. Returning champion. We've got Bennett. Hey, Bennett. Joshua Spears. Jim's here. Angie Brooks. Christy Allen. Christy, I think, is from Goodwill. And Kathleen so far on the call. So welcome, everybody. Hey, Angie. Feel free to throw your LinkedIns in the chat there if you want to connect with each other. And let's get it rolling here. So, all right, Jim. So Chattr, which spelled C-H-A-T-T-R, no E. Jim, how did you get into the recruiting software business? Let's start there as far as your beginnings here with Chattr.
Well, in my 20s, and I'm dating myself a little bit, in the mid-90s, I spent time as a recruiter and then selling staffing solutions for the largest staffing company in the country. It was, at the time, it was called Aerotech. Now it's called Allegis Group. So some of you may know who that is out of Baltimore. And when I turned 30, I said, you know, I'm going to be an entrepreneur for the rest of my life. So I made the entrepreneurial jump. And what I realized in that entrepreneurial jump, I had health clubs, I had self-defense studios, I had a marketing company. And the one consistent issue across the board was the amount of time I had to put into hiring, a lot of times, hourly workers. So based on that experience and me sitting in the chair on both the recruiter side and all the work I would have to do to find people and build relationships and get them to the start date, as well as being an entrepreneur and being on the other side of that, there was some confounding variables that converged into what we call Chattr, and it's C-H-A-T-T-R, kind of a techie word, but it really stands for Chat for Talent Recruitment. And we teamed up with a data scientist that was amazing at artificial intelligence, and we said, you know, how do we help solve this problem of all of the hiring minutia that goes into the day-to-day operations of literally a store operator or a restaurateur. Yeah. So that's how we got to this point, and we're super excited about the impact it's making.
Awesome. Well, you're in an interesting space down there in Florida. I was writing before the show that if you saw the news about McDonald's down there offering $50 to interview, well, that's one of Jim's customers. And what's recruiting like right now down in Florida there with these restaurants, things like that? I'm hearing things are, applications have fallen off the cliff, but what are your customers telling you about how hard it is right now to find people?
One word: chaos. It's utter chaos right now. And it's interesting because it's not just in Florida. Right now, we've got Chattr deployed in thousands of locations in different retail, restaurant, and hospitality. And that's not just the front of the house that you see, but also the back of the house relative to warehousing and logistics. I mean, it's a full effect inside the global retail market. Yep. And we're seeing, I mean, literally, I logged on this morning to QSR Magazine, and we're seeing Landry's in Orlando offering $250 signing bonuses. You and I, before the show, started talking about $1,000 signing bonuses up at the restaurant group in Connecticut. I saw one article 2 days ago. I mean, they're coming out daily. One article came out in New Orleans where the restaurant group has 36 locations, and they're raffling off an SUV. It's pure chaos.
Wow.
So, but the good news is it's we feel like over the last 60 days, it's got a little bit, like the last week, we're starting to see an uptick in the amount of applications. So, okay. Yeah. So I don't know if the unemployment benefits are taking a toll, or maybe the tax returns are running out, or some of the stimulus money is gone, but we are seeing in the last week or so a little bit of an uptick. Not a huge uptick, but a little bit.
All right. Well, that's encouraging. We'll take it. We'll take it as recruiters. It's a positive step in the right direction.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's check out Chatter. You're gonna share some slides and
Yeah,
show us some of the tools as well. So
let's get right into it. So let me share my screen here. All right, let's let me do this here. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we're there. So
all right, I'm going to start with here. So I'm not going to PowerPoint everybody to death today. That's what this is all about. But I did want to set the context a little bit about the big issue in the industry and why Chatter is here to help solve that problem. If you see on the left, this is from 2019 statistics, 236 million productive days lost for failed hiring processes where the local operator is required to conduct all of the manual tasks that go along with hiring literally $10 an hour people. You combine that with 92, in some cases in the QSR space, we've got a customer that sells chicken sandwiches, probably the largest chicken sandwich company in the world, and they have 249% annual attrition. So if you can imagine that, the costs associated with this constant churn and hiring of people and quitting, 19 billion in hiring costs. So it's just almost out of control. And why is that? So let's take this down to a micro level. I mean, it literally is overwhelmed local operators are wasting critical time on low value tasks because most of these companies do not have a centralized recruiting function. Mm-hmm. So all of these tasks like posting jobs, and they're literally setting up their own Indeed accounts at every one of the locations. They're posting their jobs, and then applications come rolling in. Used to come rolling in. Now they're trickling in. But when they came rolling in, they would literally take 3, 4, 5 days because they're working the floor of the store, the restaurant, to log in to Indeed and look at the applications, review all of these people, try to screen them out, shortlist them, figure out if they're a good fit. Again, these are $10, $12, $13 an hour people. How do you really figure out the fit? And then they would try to reach out and schedule interviews. And if you ever try to schedule an interview with a $10 an hour person for a retail associate job, it's crazy. So according to the National Retail Federation, the average time to hire in this space is almost 25 days. And for a $10 an hour person, it's a little under $3,000. One of our customers is Bell's Outlet, 27 states, 600 locations, 30-year manager. I've always said it takes a lot of time to read resumes, choose the right people, make contact, play phone tag, and finally get to them. So this is happening across the board. Then you flip it over to the applicant side, and we all know what applicants go through. And there's tons of conversation forever. There's almost an industry around the candidate experience at this point. 76% of applicants say employers lack communication during the process. 61% of applicants are lost literally from the application submission to an interview set. Lost from the submission when they click that submit button to the interview set. And then in this industry specifically, retail, 53% of hourly workers are no showing on interviews. So you combine
resume black hole right there, man.
It's the resume black hole. And if you think about it, because I'm going to show you something different here. If you think about it, what happens with an applicant? And it could be a hourly worker or a salary worker. That's a professional. When they log on to the traditional career page, they're all excited. They read the career page. Oh, this place looks great. And then they click over to the application, and it's this long form, box by box by box by box by box. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is when they click that submit button, they are preconditioned, classically conditioned to go, oh, what next? Will I ever hear from them? What do I do now? And think about that when you're in a job search, you're doing that over and over and over and over again. It's just between the amount of time the operator has to spend recruiting and hiring, plus this front-end application experience, it's just a miserable experience for everybody, and it needed to be reinvented. So that's what we've done. We've built an end-to-end AI automation platform that is powered by literally a digital hiring assistant that will manage 90% of the tasks associated with hiring day to day. So posting jobs, done. Reviewing those applicants as they come in, we got it covered 24/7. Screening those applicants based on a set of pre-screening criteria that you set up as a customer, done. If they do pass that pre-screen, we figure out what their expertise, and we automatically schedule them for an interview. So that with Chattr, the interviewer is literally just showing up, conducting the interview, and pushing a green button or a red button that says hire or reject, and they're done, they're back to work. So based on that, you can see another Bell's Outlet store manager. I hired 7 people in 2 days. I didn't have to do anything but interview them. Now I can focus on more important things. You've solved a big problem. So let me take us away from here.
I like how you explain that. Very simple and effective. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. So let me do this. All right. So can you see my screen, Chris?
Yes, sir. See Duncan.
All right. So I want to set this up a little bit contextually now. Think about what I just said. When an applicant comes to a career page, lots of companies have done a great job at promoting the company. They've got pictures, they've got videos, they've got their values, they've got everything. And then that applicant clicks through, and it's the traditional, I hate to say the 3-letter word, but it's kind of like the traditional ATS form, right? ATS job posting, where they got to go through the process. But with this, it's a different experience. And we call this an interactive or a conversational application. So I'm showing you this on my desktop, but the majority of applicants that go through this process are going through it on their phone. And I learned this great term from our friends at JobSync, David Bernstein. He calls it apply with thumbs. And the more you can get hourly workers applying with thumbs in a nanosecond, the higher your conversion. So this is coming from a job posting through Indeed. It can come through Google for Jobs. It can come through ZipRecruiter, Facebook. We've got integrations with all of those main job boards. Applicant sees the job posting. They're excited about it. Quick apply now. And Chatterbot, the digital hiring assistant for Duncan, pops up. I'm going to ask you a few questions and help you get an interview. This will take less than 5 minutes. Let's start with your contact information. Can I have your full name? My name is Susan Smith. All right, thank you, Susan. Can I call you Susan, or do you like to go something else? I like Susie. Okay, great, Susie. What's the best email address to contact you? Susie1234@noemail.com. Okay, if you could please provide your cell phone number so our hiring manager can reach out to you. 212. Now at this point, we'll take them through this process, but now we have their cell phone on file, and every communication there and after will now be through a text message. And we all know the response rates are on text messages at this point. Yes, we have to ask by law.
Is that your main channel now? Text messaging?
I mean, this is built on a web app, Chris, but all follow-up communications that we execute from this particular point to the first day of work is through text.
Excellent.
Okay. So now I'd like a few questions and learn more about you and your experience. To get started, can you tell me if you have any prior customer service or retail experience? Now I'm going to go through this so I can show you, but then I'll come back up and give you some tech or some context. Yes, I used to work at Wegmans. Got it. What did you do at Wegmans, and how long did you work there? I was an associate for 3 years. Okay. I'd like to know about your availability. Are you available to work a flexible schedule, including nights and weekends if asked? Yes, I'm flexible, except I can do that for Tuesday nights, and that's okay. Now, what happens, I will say that the chatbot AI underneath this will understand fat fingers and spellings, but we watch all of these videos of these dialogues, and they always go back and correct it. And I'm giving you short answers, but it's amazing how when we serve up quick text messages like this, they're in there trying to sell themselves. It's crazy how they do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I would love to be able to see that one day as people are applying what they're talking about. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was surprised because we have a full-time data scientist, and he's looking through these conversations, tagging this data so that the bot can get smarter and smarter and smarter through the process. And I said to him the other day, I said, are they really typing this much information in? all day. So are you comfortable interacting with customers and helping to answer any questions they may have? Yes, I love me some customers. Okay, just a few more questions. Are you at least 16 years of age? Yes, I'm 47 or maybe 48. I don't remember. Okay, do you have reliable transportation? Yes, I have a car during the day. Okay, you're looking for part-time or full-time hours. I'd like to work a full-time schedule. Okay, last questions. When are you available to start? I can start as soon as Monday. Okay, you're doing great, Susie. Based on your answers, I think you'd be a good fit for this role. For next steps, let's schedule you for an interview with our hiring manager. Here are some available times that work and dates for your.
You gave the name of the hiring manager. That's a nice detail.
Yeah. So we're spending a lot of time making sure that the chat interface. Again, we're not replacing a human or trying to sell that it's a human. It's a chat, and they know that. But I'll talk about the experience because we rate their experience at the end of this. You'll see. So let's pick a time for Monday, May 3rd at 10 a.m. I confirm it. Okay, your interview is booked. In a few minutes, I will send you a confirmation with all your interview details. Would you like to share your resume? It's not required for this role, but I can take it now if you'd like. So let me stop for 1 second. And Chris, I'll head up here into the top of the chat. So what we've done is the job applicant has come through one of the job boards or a posting on the job board. We also have a QR code that can be downloaded and put on flyers, or a text to apply number that can be put on flyers, where literally you can put them in the front door. I have Subway restaurants right now that are taking these little QR codes and putting stickers in the drive-through, literally because their dining rooms are closed because of COVID. So in the drive-through, when they come up, literally there's a little QR code. They click on the QR code, and then this chatbot immediately starts the application process. The average time that the applicant takes to book an interview here is 3 minutes and 23 seconds.
Nice.
We've had over 350,000 applicants go through this process, and we've processed over 14,000 hires. So this process does work. We get a completion rate of 93.6%.
Wow. So,
and if you think about it in today's world, again, I believe our friends at JobSync told me this quote or this statistic, 9 out of 10 people will drop off an application if it's more than 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
With this, 9 out of 10 people are completing the application. So just think about it, like the conversions, especially with the lack of applicants that are coming in today's market. You got to convert them at the time where they have the highest point of interest.
This is how you do it. This is the future of high volume recruiting right here, folks. I mean, first of all, your interface is really nice. I love the branding and how you the actual chatbot just looks nice compared to some other ones I've seen. First of all, in fact, you don't have to upload a resume. It's just, that just increases the conversions like mad.
Yeah.
And the text aspect of it. But that's really cool, Jim. And I'm not surprised that you're getting that kind of conversion rate. So,
yeah, it's been great. I mean, so if I take it from the top here, you'll see a couple of features inside the chatbot. So we have spent the last 2.5 years training this chatbot. So what's nice about Chattr and a huge differentiator is it literally is enterprise grade, enterprise level software, but we've built it for the SMB to the mid-market businesses. Now we can and have gone into massive franchisees, and we've deployed chatterbots from the top down to all the locations. But for example, I'm looking at my board right now. We've gone into this demo right here is a 15-unit Dunkin' franchisee.
Mm-hmm.
We went in, we sold Chattr to him, and within 1 day, he's got the full Chattr platform deployed and all of his job postings live with the chatterbot screening those applicants and scheduling those people automatically. So, enterprise level software takes, deployments. I mean, we've all had nightmares about deployments. This is super easy, and it's end to end from job posting all the way through the onboarding process.
Gotcha.
So,
And from a target audience, Jim, you're really looking at retail chains. What are types of, give me the range here of businesses you're really looking to target with this type of platform?
Anybody who is in the hourly hiring space that is in the retail, restaurant, and hospitality industry at this point. Now, we will expand eventually into home healthcare space, but that retail market is so big, and everybody thinks retail is the per store with widgets and stuff. It's really not. It's a huge industry, but it's also not just the front end buildings and employees and servers and cooks, but it's also the back end, drivers, truck drivers, logistics, warehouse. So anybody that's in that space is where we're particularly focusing right now.
Yep. Is it priced based on stores or users? How do you work that?
Great question. It's by location. So based on the number of locations per location per month. You can pay monthly, or you can set up an annual program, obviously with discounts off that. But again, our market is how do we service the 15 unit Dunkin' brand, but also be able to service 713 Kentucky Fried Chickens at the same time. So,
yep. Do you have a basic price point you could throw out there for the audience? Just to give them an idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example. So a 5 unit, like this 5 unit Dunkin', a 5 unit Dunkin' would more than likely pay $97 a month per unit. So for $500 a month for all 5 of their units, they have unlimited jobs, unlimited postings, unlimited users, unlimited chat conversations. We don't want a usage tax, so to speak. We feel like flat, simple pricing is the way to go, especially for small to medium-sized businesses that don't really want to calculate or even have historical data on how much they've used in the past. So we want this to be a simple price.
Okay, that's good. I like that pricing model. And it's affordable too. So
we feel like and if you're an enterprise organization, obviously let's sit down, let's map out what a custom program would look like, and then there's economies of scale based on the number of locations that participate.
Sure.
So back to the chatbot. At this point, we've got a series of questions that you can upload your own questions and build your own questions, but we've had over 50 questions that we've trained through the AI. Each one of these questions has a deep learning model built into it that we've trained over and over again. So we've got templates that you can literally choose from, where you can upload your job description, you can choose a bot template, and all of those pre-built prerequisites are already built in. If you're hiring people that are 16 years old and not 18 years old, you can change the hiring criteria and toggle that down based on your criteria. But the idea is simple, easy to deploy. So you build your own questions, or you can use our template. And then you'll see here, it's automatically scheduling the interview with the applicant and the hiring manager. So what happens here is your interview is booked. In a few minutes, I'll send you a confirmation with all your interview details. Our customers set up interview schedules inside of Chattr. So Chatterbot, which is what you're seeing here, Chatterbot knows when that availability is, and then can serve up that availability to the applicant in real time, just like this. So when the applicant picks the time, the applicant just got an email and a text message to confirm the interview time, date, location, and hiring manager that they're going to meet with. The exact same time, the Chatterbot sends an email and a calendar invite to the hiring manager with an ICS file. The hiring manager clicks the confirm. Everything is booked automatically. What's nice about Chattr interview scheduling is you can set it up to auto confirm or auto book your interviews, or you can set it to pending. So the pending option allows you to look at the applicant's background prior to confirming the interview. Now, I will say in our market, literally at 100% of our customers are using the auto confirm.
I would think so, yeah.
Get them booked. Get them booked.
Yep.
So you show the resume. No, not. I won't do that.
How many customers take advantage of that part of it, Jim, with the resume?
0.
Okay.
Literally 0. Now, what we have found is, it's up to the applicant to upload if they want to. Yeah. So we have found that even though it's not required, applicants will upload it.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, Susie, we're close to the end. Are there any questions I can answer for you? Yes. What about pay? Okay, so I fat fingered a little bit. Before we wrap up, you mind rating your experience? We love getting feedback. It was great. Before you go, here's a quick video to introduce you to the company. So we've got right now, we've got where the customer can upload their own video. So if you've got
better right in the chat box, which is nice.
Absolutely. So one of the things I wanted to point out was when we rate the applicant experience in the end, over 300,000+ applicants, the average applicant rating is 4.87 stars out of 5 for past applicants. I mean, past as in accepted applicants. But what's crazy and what we did not expect at all is even the rejected applicants, the average rating is 4.81 stars out of 5. So if you think about that, what's happening? They're logging on to the traditional application form. They're clicking the submit button. They're waiting to hear from everybody. It never happens. But with this, at least they know they're not qualified in 3 minutes and 23 seconds, and they can move on to the next opportunity.
Yeah, it's all about the experience, and this is the future of hiring in many cases. And you know, it's a much better experience than what we used to do in the space. So
yeah,
nice job there, Jim.
So this is.
Sharon's,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sharon's asking how soon do you think you're going to be up and running with some home healthcare companies?
Well, we're tackling a big industry right now. It's actually interesting. We started the company 3 years ago in the home healthcare space. And when you start a company, we went to 2 different markets, retail and restaurant and hospitality. At the same time, we went into the home healthcare space. And what we found is that, at least from our success, our model was able to make a bigger impact in the retail because of the high turnover in the home healthcare space. And you probably know this already. The amount of applicants, the lack of applicants in the industry, it was just so hard with the certifications. So eventually we will get back to that industry, especially post-COVID like this, since there's such a demand. But because we've carved out this retail, restaurant, hospitality niche, I mean, our objective is the next 3 years to be the #1 hiring platform in that niche.
Nice. All right, what's next, Jim? We see the back end?
Yep, see the back end. So this is the front end experience. You saw the applicant experience. They can come, again, through job portal, job posting, QR code on site, or through a text message. Now here is, again, a full back-end platform. We like to call ourselves the anti-ATS at this point. I mean, our objective is literally everything by a mobile device. Now I'm showing you on a desktop because of this, but because of the distributed management force in our customer base, I mean, if you think about it, they're in a back room with fryers going on, or they're in a stock room with an old computer, and there's stuff everywhere, but they're on the go constantly, going and going and going and going and going. So right now, every customer we talk to is they have a love-hate relationship with their ATS because it's manual. I mean, literally an ATS is really designed to host candidates and bring people through a process. With Chattr, our managers have one job. It's kind of funny, the ESPN, you had one job. They've got one job to do. And that is literally to come in here, open up a profile, which again is fully mobile optimized. I'll show you that screen in a second. Look in here. They can read the screening questions and the answers to those questions. They can read the full chat dialogue if they want to. They can see that from the time, this is important here, from the time the interview is booked until the time the interview occurs, we send several text message reminders. And I can kind of show you that here. See my screen? Sometimes it moves. You see these, Chris? Mm-hmm. So we send multiple text message reminders to just keep in touch with them, tickle them a little bit, show them some love, make sure they know we're thinking about them. Again, all 100% automated at scale.
Yeah. Is that like once a day or so?
Oh, it depends on how the length of time between the interview booked and the actual interview. But if an interview is booked out 5 days, we'll send them 3 or 4 text messages within that 5 days.
Gotcha.
Just to keep them warm.
Yeah, it seems about the right number.
Yeah. So let me take you back here. And stuff like, tomorrow's the big day, James. This is Chatterbot confirming your interview. So this is the only screen that our managers spend time in. And we track it. They spend less than 7 minutes a day in Chatter. Because all they have to do is get a snapshot of James Schimpf. I interview James. I click hired. Here's the reason. Click save and done. And now what's happened is we then deploy a congratulations, Susie, you're hired at McDonald's. Here's your start date, your start time, the start location. And here again, once again, here's your manager you're going to be reporting to. We can also serve up an onboarding link in the Chatterbot conversation out to that applicant from your ATS module. I will say this though, by the end of Q3, maybe even the beginning of Q3, we will have a full onboarding module in here where the Chatterbot will then deliver up all of your W-4s, your I-9s, et cetera, to get them started for the first day of work. So our objective is, how do we take that applicant from job posting and application all the way through the first day of work in an automated environment where a hiring manager just has to show up to interviews and push this little blue button. And what that looks like on their phone is this. Super simple. So again, how do we bypass what the traditional ATS is asking that manager to do, and literally act like a true digital hiring assistant? Not only for the front end experience for the applicant, but also let's have that hiring assistant service the hiring manager too. Get rid of all that minutia, make room for the one meaningful thing, click a green button, and get back to work. So I could show a bunch of stuff in here, how to set up the account and everything, but I think this is the most important thing to see in terms of what both experiences would be for the operator and the applicant.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good overview. I wouldn't want to overwhelm the viewers out there, but Jim, I'm curious, what are you replacing as far as other software goes when you're coming into that docking? What are these guys using that you're replacing with Chatter?
Depends on the level or and the number of units that they have. On the low side, we're replacing Indeed, and because they're spending most of their time posting jobs in Indeed and going into the Indeed database.
Yep.
As well as, and they could have a applicant tracking system like a Jazz HR or a Recruity or some lightweight type of software like that. Yeah. So we're coming in and replacing that and automating that entire process.
Have you heard your clients talk about Indeed lately? What's any thoughts on that platform in terms of its effectiveness lately?
We have to have another hour about Indeed. Indeed has been, this is all 100% opinion. But yeah, every client of ours, I hear the word Indeed every single day. And what's happening, we'll give you an example. One of our clients is using a recruitment marketing firm that we're partnering with, and the cost per click for an applicant 3 months ago was roughly 49 cents for them.
Yep.
And now it's $2.52.
Wow.
Because you figure the Amazons and the Ubers are coming in because they need all of these hourly workers to come into work, and because they've got deep pockets, they're just driving up the cost per click on sponsored jobs.
That's interesting.
I see Indeed becoming, it's almost as if the free non-sponsored traffic that we're all mildly blessed with is quickly drying up, or it gets pushed down very quickly. And I almost feel like Indeed's moving towards a Google AdWords paid only model where people have to bid on specific jobs.
Yeah, you might be right. In a sense, because if there's so much advertising on Indeed, it's just basically going to lessen the exposure of those free jobs, which is essentially becoming just a paid platform at that point.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that, I mean, because clearly the industry's in chaos. They're making tons of money. When you try to reach out to Indeed, it's 3-4 days before you get a reply. So I just think they're in a position right now where they're just bringing all this money in and just recalibrating their model a little bit and saying, okay, where are we going next? Because this is something that our customers are almost going to become accustomed to. How do we take them away from free ads and just move them into a paid only situation?
Yeah, very cool. Well, this has been great, Jim. I'm definitely impressed by what you've built here. I've known you for a few years now, and love to see the evolution of an entrepreneur like yourself with stuff that you're building. And I'm definitely color me impressed. So I'll leave it there.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. For everybody, I met Chris 3 years ago. I made a trek to Connecticut. My in-laws live in Connecticut. And I just immediately hit it off with Chris. I love his in-your-face, tell it like it is, almost satirical type of approach to this industry. He's been in it a long time. And so we met over some bacon and eggs at a at a diner in the middle of nowhere. And so thank you for the support. And I appreciate the opportunity to talk to your community today.
Definitely. Yeah, just tell the listeners and the viewers where to go to learn more and get another demo.
Perfect. Chatter.ai, CHATTR.ai, CHATTR.ai. Click on the get demo. You can even upload a job and you can start hiring with Chatter for free. You can do it on one job. You can give it a try. You'll probably get an email from us to say, hey, let's help you through it. So if you're interested, jump on there and check it out. We'll be more than happy to help you.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time today, Jim. We'll get this episode uploaded to our YouTube channel tomorrow and get you some more exposure there. And so keep an eye out for that, everyone. You can also check out the replay just a few minutes after the show here on Crowdcast if you want to go back and watch that. And all right, Jim, well, good luck with the platform. Keep me informed as to what's going on down there in Florida with recruiting. I'm always curious about the stories. So feel free to reach out and tell us the rumors, all right?
Sounds great. Appreciate the time, everybody. Make it a great.
All right. Thanks, Angie, for watching, and thanks everyone for watching. I'll be in touch soon with some more shows for May, but until next time, always be recruiting, everybody. Take care.